If you own XRP, you need to see this now. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, money makers. Let's get straight into it. Please read the disclaimer. So I actually want to play you two clips. One is from Senator Loomis and one is from Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. And then we'll talk a little bit about the current situation in the crypto market. Could it be the bottom? Could this be a great opportunity or something else, right? We'll talk about that. But let's start with this. Senator Loomis was on CNBC, I think. Yeah, CNBC. And this is what she had to say about the upcoming potential of Clarity Act passing.
Absolutely. So with a successful markup in the Banking Committee, we now need to wrap the Clarity Act, which dealt with the SEC portion of jurisdiction, with the Agriculture Committee's product, which dealt with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission component of the digital asset industry, fold that in with ethics, and then some really nice work that both Senator Hagerty have done and Senator also Brooks, your last guest, and Tom Tillis did with regard to correcting what the banks see as an unfavorable outcome for them with the Genius Act that we passed last summer. And then finally wrap it with some ethics legislation. So wrapping all of those into one product that's presented on the floor of the Senate and then needs 60 votes for cloture.
I was just going to say, Senator also Brooks said she would not vote for it on the floor unless some of these issues are addressed. How complicated is that?
And we are addressing them. Yeah. So, for example, on DeFi, which Senator also Brooks mentioned, and others have as well. I continue to work with Senator Cortez Masto. She was the Attorney General in Nevada, dealt with some of the anti-money laundering issues that casinos see. So she has expertise in that area. So as she works with law enforcement to make sure that they're happy, I'm trying to work with some people in the digital asset industry to make sure we don't go too far. Case in point. People who write code for Bitcoin products, for example, don't know when they put their product out there who's using it. They don't know if it's being used for illicit purposes or legitimate purposes. So they should be protected from liability since they don't know who the user is. So we're trying to make those balances.
Banks can say the same thing. But banks are told they have to track it and be responsible for it.
And we have AML and BSA standards in this bill for digital assets, contrary to what some of the banks are saying.
So really interesting from Senator Loomis here, just the fact that they have to combine these two bills into one and smooth it out, right? Because one is for the CFTC, one is for the SEC and the ethics around this whole situation. And you're seeing one senator wants this. It says, if this doesn't happen, I'm not voting for it. And this senator says, oh, if that is not in it, I'm not doing this. The politics here are at full throttle. Now, the question is going to be, will this bill become a watered down thing? And they just do it to get the 60 votes and they, pass it through and it will be a bad bill? Is that the best outcome? Or do we want a good bill and it passes well? Listen, right now, the way that the crypto prices, so let's say prices XRP price to USD, because one XRP is one XRP, it's worth one XRP, right? Or one Bitcoin is worth one Bitcoin. But the prices versus US dollar have been suffering basically since Coinbase pulled out of the Banking Committee markup there, and even before that, since October 10th, 2025. So the question is going to be, in my opinion, it's better to pass it than not pass it because the whole market is looking at it right now. Now, again, this is just my opinion, and this video is for educational purposes, for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. But listen, you can always take advantage of the markets. If you're interested, our partner BTCC will give you the opportunity to do so. this is my go-to exchange. This is the exchange I use day to day to do my trades, for better or for worse. Right? Today and yesterday, I wasn't didn't have a great day, but it's okay because sometimes you have good days, sometimes you have bad days. That's what's so beautiful about trading. You have to have a plan in place. I had a plan. It didn't go the way I wanted, but I had, stop losses and things like that in place. So if you're interested, BTCC will give you the opportunity to do so. You get a bonus when you sign up. So link is in the description down below, and please trade responsibly. Again, this is an affiliate link, so I will get a commission. So thank you for that. Now, before we get to the price action of XRP, let's go to this clip from Brad Garlinghouse. Just said he hasn't been this optimistic in years. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Crypto has gone through cycles, and when you have risk on, people are excited. They are, now you have kind of a risk off moment. There's uncertainty. I personally will echo some of the things Richard said. There are so many macro factors that are continuing to provide tailwinds for this industry that I think as we go into 2026, I don't remember being this optimistic in the last handful of years, where you do have, as Richard said, regulatory clarity in the largest economy in the world. And I think people underprice this. 22% of global GDP is the United States, and this is a market that has been really openly hostile to crypto for 4 or 5 years, or maybe longer. And now you have that has changed significantly pretty quickly, but the institutions are still catching up with that to some degree. You saw Franklin Templeton on stage here, you saw BlackRock on stage. Just this week, I think Vanguard has now opened up, Vanguard historically has said, we won't touch crypto. And now they've had a massive sea change. That's just one of many things that are creating those tailwinds. And so I'm super optimistic about the year ahead. The last thing I'll say on this, which I think we'll also probably all agree about on this, is we are also seeing real world applications.
So this clip I know is a little bit old. It's from the end of last year, but it stands in place, right? The fact is that nothing has changed. The only thing that's changed in the crypto market, again, I'll say this, is the price action, right? Nothing has changed. We didn't know a year ago if Clarity Act would pass or not, right? We didn't know this. And yet we continue to see that the gap between crypto and equities continues to rise. Sentiment says the gap between traditional equities and crypto has become increasingly difficult for traders to ignore. Bitcoin just hit the lowest level in nearly 2 months, while the S&P 500 and NASDAQ pushed to record highs. Today, it's kind of a mixed bag. Stocks are pulling back a little bit, some, not all of them, but the S&P 500 and NASDAQ right now are in the red. XRP was up in the morning a little bit, up about a few percentages, has pulled back since. Bitcoin also kind of pulled back to where it was in the morning if we're just looking at the price action. Again, price actions right now, Ethereum is almost at the same level as well. Actually, XRP is held a little bit better. You can see it's still in the green, whereas other assets are still in the red. Was it up? XLP pumping there. Maybe they got mistaken. They thought it was XRP, right? And so when we're looking at the price action, I've told you this before. Like if I'm day trading, it matters for me. Didn't go my way today, it's fine. But I'm, my chunk of my XRP holdings is long term, right? And if I see opportunity short term, I try to take advantage of it. Again, sometimes you get a successful trade, sometimes you don't. No traders have a 100% success rate. It's not possible, okay? But what is possible is to have a plan in place and know what your goals are and where you want to get and where you're going. I don't, for my long-term position, doesn't matter if XRP is at 1.2 or 2.3 or 3.4. My wife famously said, I told her one day, honey, look how much this has gone up today. And she says to me, how many shoes can I buy? That's not actually what she said. I changed the story. She originally said, what can I do with it? She said in Hebrew, tachlis, what can I do? Like real talk, kind of like that's how it translates. Can we use it, to buy stuff? I was like, no, we have to keep it in the, right, not sell now. So she says, so don't annoy me with this. Don't tell me about it. I don't want to know, right? And so that's just kind of the mindset I have right now with this is even if we're down, I don't get too excited. And even when we're up significantly, I don't get too excited. Now, I know that that's not easy. It's really hard. Not everybody can do it. It comes with experience. And even with experience, I'll tell you, I don't know. Sometimes my dad watches, sometimes he doesn't. But even he, at 70 plus years of age and many years in the stock market, um, will come to me sometimes and say, you know, what should I do? We're down a lot, right? And it recently happened in the stock market when we were on that dip there in early, the beginning of the year when the war started. And I said, relax, right? You know what happens, right? And so I'm telling myself also, relax. You know what happens in the crypto market. Go through these cycles. We're looking now at Clarity Act. We're looking at all the development, all the institutional development, all these institutions coming into the crypto market, all these ETFs that are now for crypto. And yet the crypto sentiment right now is maybe at the lowest that it's been. Some people are saying the last 12 years. I don't know if it's the lowest it's been the last 12 years, but it is pretty low. Like crypto content is getting very little interest. Although you guys have still been watching me, and so I really appreciate it. Of course, not like we were last year, but still okay amount. So I really appreciate that. Again, if you want to get the stock market channel, we also have that now. It's almost monetized, which is amazing because it's a new channel, and I didn't like other people were taking channels that already had views on it. Like there was no views there. We're almost close to 1,000 subscribers, and for 4,000 watch hours is already there. 1,000 subscribers, we're almost there. But don't subscribe if you're not going to watch the videos, because then it mixes up the algorithm. It's not good to have subscribers that are not interested in the content. So if you're interested in stock market content, go and subscribe to the new channel. If not, it's fine. You can stay here, listen to similar stuff about world economy and crypto and XRP. Okay, so very, very important. Don't forget to check out BTCC if you're interested in crypto trading. Again, it is an affiliate link, so thank you for that. Don't forget to smash the like button. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.